In America today, $1,000 is a bill, some groceries, some gas, some rent. And then it's gone, swallowed by a cost of living that climbs faster than anyone can keep up with. Rent in most cities now pushes past $2,000. Health insurance alone can drain more than $500 a month. Groceries have climbed 24%, yet the bags you carry home feel lighter than ever. You work, you earn, you pay, and somehow your wallet is empty before the week even begins. But far beyond the noise, beyond the bills taped to the fridge and the quiet panic at the checkout line, there are still places where $1,000 means something real. Not a receipt, not a subscription, not a temporary relief. $1,000 still buys land, actual earth you can touch, own, and build a life on. In these places, an acre isn't a privilege reserved for the wealthy. It's an open door, a start, a way out of a system that charges you for every breath. The world is changing, but not evenly. While America turns basic living into a monthly struggle, there are still corners of this planet where land keeps its original meaning, space, dignity, and a future you control. For around $1,000 an acre, you can own ground that grows food, holds a home, and answers to no landlord, no bank, no corporation, just you. Today we're traveling to 5 countries where that possibility is still alive. 5 nations where $1,000 an acre isn't a fantasy, but a fact, and where starting over isn't limited to the rich or the lucky. These are the places where life moves slower, costs less, and gives back more than it takes. So before we begin, tell me one thing: which country lives in your mind right now? Drop the name in the comments, because by the end of this journey, the place calling your name might be very different. 5. Paraguay, the last quiet heart of South America. Paraguay is one of the least talked about countries in South America, yet one of the easiest places to live. There are no cities overcrowded with tourists, no suffocating rush, no relentless noise. Here time moves differently, slower, softer, as if the country has managed to hold on to something the rest of the world has already lost peace. Rural life stretches out in endless green fields, filled with kind, warm-hearted people who will help you even if you are nothing more than a stranger passing by. The climate is gentle, natural disasters are rare, the soil is fertile, and wide, calm rivers wrap around villages like protective arms, giving Paraguay a warmth few places can match. In the provinces of Caazapa, Itapúa, and Concepcion, land prices remain humble in a world where such humility is disappearing. $1,000, $1,400 per acre, with full freehold ownership for foreigners. The farmland is so fertile you can grow almost anything: soybeans, corn, fruit, vegetables year-round. Many people come to Paraguay to build a homestead, raise livestock, and live a self-sufficient life that has become a luxury in the U.S. today. An acre here isn't just land, it's an opportunity, a foundation for a new chapter of your life. Paraguay is also known for having one of the easiest residency paths in South America. No golden visa, no requirement to buy property, no complicated conditions designed to discourage newcomers. All you need is a modest financial deposit, around $3,500, placed in a local bank. That's it. Once you obtain residency and live here for 3 years, you can apply for citizenship. A clear, simple, practical path, rare in today's world where many countries demand hundreds of thousands of dollars for the same privilege. The cost of living reflects the kindness of the country. With $850, $100 a month, you can live comfortably without counting every dollar. Rent is affordable. Local food is abundant, and essential services almost never get inflated, like they do elsewhere. Healthcare is the same. A private consultation usually costs $20. $30. Doctors are gentle and attentive, and patients are treated like human beings, not as numbers on an insurance form. Paraguay's beauty is not the loud, showy kind. It's the beauty of early mornings when mist lies over the fields drifting softly past wooden rooftops, with a distant rooster crowing in the background. It's the moment you sit on your porch with a warm cup of coffee and hear your neighbor's footsteps approaching unhurried. It's the sound of birds of wind and of silence, the kind of silence cities cannot sell you at any price. In Paraguay, you learn that wealth isn't in what you own. It's in the pace at which you are allowed to live. If you need a place where you can breathe deeply, again slow down, and live at the speed of your own heart. Paraguay is one of the last places on the map that still offers that gift. Comment Paraguay if you want life to slow down enough for you to breathe. 4. Zambia, African peace you didn't expect. Zambia is one of those places that surprises almost everyone who arrives for the first time. It's not loud, not chaotic, and nothing like the version of Africa often shown on the news. Instead, you find a vast calmness, gentle people, and warm smiles that make you forget you're a newcomer. The country carries a deep cultural soul built on community kindness and a level of human warmth that's hard to find in high-pressure cities. Its nature is majestic in a quiet way, not to impress, but to remind you of the generosity of land and the rhythm of life itself. In the northern and eastern regions where fields stretch toward the horizon, land prices remain almost unbelievable in today's world. $900, $1, $200 per acre, with 99-year leases, a standard in Africa, yet long enough for your entire lifetime and the next generation. The soil is fertile, nourished by clean river water, and the climate is steady and comfortable. Many Americans come here to build homesteads, grow fruit, raise livestock, or create the kind of garden they could never afford back home. An acre here isn't a half-dream. It's a real start to a real life. The residency path is practical and straightforward. You can obtain a work permit or an investor permit with a small investment of around $5,000, $10,000. That amount isn't a fortune. It's the cost of a small shop, a local cafe, a mini farm, or a modest service business. Once you're established, Zambia allows you to apply for a long-term permit of up to 10 years, giving you the stability to live, integrate, and build the home you want, without the exhausting paperwork games required in many other countries. The cost of living reflects the country's gentle nature. With $700, $900 a month, you can live a clean, quiet, comfortable life. You don't need luxury. Zambia gives you what matters. In Lusaka, private healthcare facilities are good, doctors are caring, clinics are clean, and prices never cause anxiety before an appointment. Zambia reveals its beauty when you see it through the eyes of someone living here, not through online images. Mornings glow pink as the sun rises over the savanna, casting long rays across fields still wrapped in mist. Along dusty village roads, children run beside passing cars, waving with the purest smiles you'll encounter anywhere. It isn't performance. It's sincerity from a place where human connection still means something. Everything carries the taste of untouched nature, the scent of soil after rain, the whisper of wind through tall grass, the calls of birds settling in at dusk. Zambia doesn't make you feel luxurious. It makes you feel lighter, a place where you are accepted, heard, and allowed to live at your own heart's pace. No one rushes. No one pretends to be something they're not. You're simply allowed to be yourself. If you believe Africa is more than what the media shows, you comment Zambia. 3. Bosnia and Herzegovina, Europe's untouched valley. Bosnia and Herzegovina is one of the rare corners of Europe that still feels completely genuine. It isn't loud, flashy, or polished like modern Western Europe. This is a Europe that still breathes honesty, soft green valleys stretching under a clear sky, turquoise rivers carving through ancient stone villages, and a pace of life so gentle you can hear the spoon tapping against a warm cup of morning coffee. People here live kindly, lightly, without rush or competition. They can spend an entire morning on a porch or by a riverside simply talking, sipping coffee, and letting time pass like an old friend. In the regions of Travnik Foka and Prijador land, still holds its humble spirit, $1,000, $800 per acre, a price that has all but vanished from the rest of Europe. And the good news is that foreigners can own land easily through a simple process registering a small local company, quick and perfectly legal. These parcels often lie in wide valleys near streams and forests, where you can build a wooden home, raise a few animals, grow a garden, and live as though the modern world's pressures no longer apply to you. The residency path in Bosnia is just as practical. Buying a small home or starting a modest business, a cafe, a guest house, a craft workshop, is enough to obtain residency. After 5 years, you can apply for permanent residence, a huge step for anyone who wants to live long-term in Europe without paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a golden visa. Bosnia opens its doors in a very Bosnian way, quietly, sincerely, without spectacle, but with real goodwill. The cost of living matches this calm rhythm. With $900, $1, $200 a month, you can live comfortably in a clean, safe, peaceful environment. Fresh produce is abundant. Traditional markets are full of local vegetables and homemade goods. Transportation is inexpensive and essential. Services are never inflated, the way they are in many bigger European cities. Healthcare is European in quality, but remarkably affordable. Private visits cost $25, $40, with caring doctors, modern facilities, and a patient-focused approach, instead of a profit-driven one. Bosnia and Herzegovina carries a feeling the modern world struggles to recreate. It's the sight of red-roofed homes leaning into snowy hillsides in winter, the afternoon smoke drifting upward from wood-burning stoves, the soft toll of church bells echoing across the valley, and the cobblestone streets glowing under warm yellow lamps as evening falls. Together, these moments form a different kind of Europe, a Europe that is human, sincere, unpretentious, a Europe built for living, not for showing off. Bosnia doesn't hold you with luxury. It holds you with simplicity, the cold morning air, a home-cooked meal made from your own garden, the sound of a stream beside the road, and the quiet realization that your life has slowed down, become more truthful, more meaningful. Comment old Europe, if you miss a Europe that is simple, humble, and beautifully real. 2. Laos, Asia's most gentle land. Laos is a world set apart from the frantic rhythm of the rest of Southeast Asia. It isn't loud like Bangkok, it isn't chaotic like Saigon, and it isn't crowded like Manila. This country keeps its own pace, soft, calm, and deep, like a long breath after years of exhaustion. Along the wide Mekong River, life moves slowly, flowing, with the same quiet consistency as the water. In the northern hills or the small streets of the south, you'll find gentle faces, unhurried footsteps, and a way of living untouched by competition. People here communicate with softness, with smiles more than words. They don't live to chase achievement, they live to protect their peace. And that peace spills into everyone who arrives. In Luang Namtha, Savannakhet, and Pakse, the land remains close to nature and still within reach for those who want life to slow down. $1,000, $1,500 per acre under 30-50-year leaseholds, renewable. These lands often sit near streams, forests, or cool hillside paths, perfect for anyone who wants to build a garden home, a family-run homestay, or a small retreat surrounded by nature. Clean water, fertile soil, and a warm, stable climate make these areas ideal for someone searching not for luxury, but for balance. Long-stay residency in Laos is as gentle as the country itself. Multiple entry visas are relatively easy to obtain, or you can start a small cafe, a guest house, or a local business to qualify for residency. There are no heavy investment requirements, no intimidating financial thresholds. Laos doesn't test you with obstacles. It opens the door just enough for you to step in without pressure. The cost of living is another quiet surprise. With $700, $900 a month, you can live comfortably, eat well with fresh local produce, move around easily, and enjoy a life so low in stress that the word deadline slowly disappears from your vocabulary. Healthcare is basic but affordable. Minor issues are treated well, and for major procedures, people commonly cross into Thailand only a few hours away for high-quality medical care. It isn't perfect, but it is honest, simple, and without crushing bills. Laos reveals its beauty through subtle moments no human hand can fabricate. The morning chants from temples echoing across misty valleys. The golden glow that settles over the Mekong in the late afternoon, turning the water into molten light. The sight of monks walking calmly down the street, holding alms bowls with an almost sacred stillness. The dirt roads where children play without the interruption of car horns. Laos isn't a tourist paradise, it's a place where you relearn how to live slowly, truthfully, peacefully. Here, you don't need to become anyone else. You simply return to yourself, the version you left behind somewhere along the rush of modern life. If you need life to slow down so you can find yourself again, comment Laos. 1. Mexico rural Southland for those who dare. The Mexico. Most people know is the Mexico of beach resorts, bright hotels and crowded tourist cities, but the real Mexico isn't found there. The real Mexico lives in the South Oaxaca, Chiapas, Yucatan, the sacred heartlands of the Americas, where culture isn't performed for visitors but lived every single day. These are places where people greet you with natural warmth, where strangers treat you like a neighbor from the moment you arrive. It's a Mexico of mornings scented with freshly roasted coffee, of red dirt roads, winding into small villages of mothers leading their children to the early market, and of smiles so genuine they stay with you long after. In rural regions far from the beaches and tourist corridors, land still holds a price for those willing to start over, $1,000, $800 per acre. Not dry barren land, but fertile ground, perfect for small farms, eco-living projects, and self-sufficient homesteads. In most of Mexico, foreigners can hold full freehold ownership, except in restricted coastal zones, where ownership is done through a fideicomiso. These acres are real earth soil that stains your feet after the rain fields where corn and beans are planted by hand, not by machines or apps. Land you can feel. The residency path in Mexico is equally welcoming. For temporary residency, you only need to show stable financial means or apply through the pensioner visa based on fixed income. No massive investments, no complex interviews. And after 4 years, you can transition to permanent residency, allowing you to stay indefinitely without returning to the U.S. or constantly renewing paperwork. Mexico doesn't promise wealth. It offers a choice, a place where you can live your own life on your own terms. The cost of living mirrors the simplicity of southern Mexico. With $700, $1,000 a month, you can live well, eat healthily, enjoy clean air, and end your days in a calm that big American cities no longer offer. Healthcare in Mexico is among the strongest in Latin America, modern private clinics carrying doctors and reasonable prices that never drown you in medical debt. Many newcomers are surprised to find quality that rivals the U.S. without the fear of bankruptcy. Mexico touches your senses in ways few places can. The sound of a guitar drifting through a late afternoon. The smell of grilled corn rising from the roadside after a light rain. Children kicking a ball in an open yard, feet dusty, faces full of joy. And when night falls, the sky unfolds into a blanket of stars so bright, you wonder how you lived years without seeing them. In big U.S. cities, the sky has been swallowed by light. Here, the sky gives itself back to you, pure, unhidden, untouched. Mexico isn't for those who want perfection. Mexico is for those who dare to live honestly. Those who want cheap land, wide skies, and a place quiet enough to finally hear themselves again. If you dare to live a life of freedom, cheap land, wide skies, comment Mexico. In the end, Paraguay, Zambia, Bosnia, Laos, Mexico. 5 different places spread across 5 corners of the world, yet all sharing one forgotten truth: $1,000 can still buy freedom. Not the freedom printed in books, not the freedom advertised in slogans, but real freedom, the kind you can stand on, grow on, breathe on, a freedom rooted in earth. Because ultimately, freedom was never about money, it was always about land, breath, and belonging. It's about where you stand when the sun rises. It's about the silence no one can take from you. It's about having just enough land beneath your feet to build a life without asking permission. These 5 countries remind us that freedom hasn't disappeared, it has simply moved. It stepped away from the cities where money determines your worth and settled in places where your breath is still your own. And now, after this entire journey, I have one simple question for you. Which country whispered to your soul today? Was it the calm of Paraguay, the vastness of Zambia, the humanity of Bosnia, the meditative stillness of Laos, or the star-filled sky of Mexico? Comment below and subscribe to Discover Globe Places Top 10. If you believe freedom still exists somewhere on this earth. Because maybe freedom doesn't live in your bank account. It lives on the land you dare to call your own.